back for episode number 177 of the weekly playback. So in the last week, I played a few games. So you can see a video for Fea's Swamp, which I got around to playing, which I really loved. That is a review copy that I received from Asmodee USA. So I played a 3-player game of that and had a lot of fun playing that. I played Gretchen's Garden, which is another game that I received from Asmodee. So I played a 2-player game of that. I would like to play a 3 or 4-player game of it and see if it's a little bit more interesting or fun. So that's another game I played. And then I played some games that I do not own. So one of the games I don't own that I played in the last week is called Vineyard, a winemaking game from Pencil First Games, I believe. So that's a worker placement game with shared workers. It's kind of an interesting concept, but you know, it's an okay game. Like, I don't feel the need to add it to my collection, and I'm not really going to bother explaining how it plays. But yeah, it's an interesting concept, but just doesn't seem really remarkable or a game that I feel like I would really need in my collection. And there are other games that already have the winemaking theme as well, which I already own as well, so don't feel a need to add it to my collection. And the artwork was a little bit too cartoony for my taste as well. So yeah, not the biggest fan of the game, but it was okay. I'm glad I got to play it. So I played a 4-player game of that. And then I played a 4-player game of Slay the Spire. Now, if you watch my channel, you would know that I'm not a fan of cooperative games, and I'm not a fan of dungeon crawlers either, or like boss battler games, which is what this was. So it was like a boss battler kind of dungeon crawler cooperative game. So all the things that I love so much. But yeah, did not enjoy it. So, but yeah, it was an interesting experience, I guess, but I just really was not enjoying myself while playing it. I will say that I heard a lot about it, so I kind of was curious because I heard the name Slay the Spire so often, and I feel like, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that there might be a Kickstarter right now for Slay the Spire, or some expansion or something. Like, I don't even know how many, I guess I could just look it up on Board Game Geek. Like, I don't even know how many editions there are of this game or whatever. I'm just gonna type Slay the Spire and see and find out what comes up. Slay the Spire. Oh yeah, so you have Slay the Spire, the board game. Oh, so I guess it's not that old. It's a 2024 game. And then I guess what's on Kickstarter right now is Slay the Spire, the board game, Downfall. So it looks like it's an expansion. So I guess that might be on Kickstarter right now. I don't know. But yeah, I was not the biggest fan. Like, I just don't understand games in which you have combat, but before you actually, fully defeat the enemy and a new enemy comes out, you get to reset your energy, you reset certain things. So in this game, you're fighting different monsters, right? And you have a team of people, and so you can all play cards to help each other out to defeat the various monsters that are there. But you start with 3 energy each time, and then you have 0 protection, and your health points are wherever your health points are, right? But at the start of each turn, you reset your energy to 3 and you reset your defenses to 0. So when you're drawing new cards from your deck, because it's also like a deck building game, that's when you then spend your cards, you spend your energy to play new cards and build up your defenses and try to damage these monsters and so on. So it's like, okay, like in real life, if you're defeating a monster, you're not going to stop and reset your energy and do all of that. So like that part makes no sense to me. But yeah, whatever, like I'm not a huge fan of these games, so I do not plan on ever playing this again, and I'm not sure I will ever play another like boss battler type of game again, because really not my cup of tea. Cooperative, definitely not my cup of tea. Solo, maybe. Cooperative, no. So solo, I'm thinking of that game Ace of Spades, which is a boss battler game, but it was solo, and it's kind of based on like was it Poker Hands? I think it was Poker Hands, if I remember correctly, which made it a little bit more interesting for me. So yeah, so that is a game from Devere, and I believe it was based on Poker Hands. Yes, Poker Plays. So that was a little bit more interesting, and again, it was a solo game, so I enjoyed that. But a game like this, do not enjoy Slay the Spire and will not play again. So those were the games that I played in the last week. Oh no, I did play one more, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit later when I talk about board game designing. Okay, so let's move on. So in terms of games received, the only new game I received recently is Gretchen's Garden, which I created a how to play video for. So that is a review copy that I received from Asmodee, and I believe it will be available on April 3rd. So I played a 2-player game of that. Otherwise, I have not received any Kickstarters or anything like that. But in terms of things that I'm backing, so I am actually backing something now. So I am backing Hive, a roll and color beehive simulator. It just looks really beautiful. It's got all different kinds of editions. So I am backing the, let me see if I can find it. I'm backing the Legacy edition, which is $38. Oh, I wonder if it has Spiel Essen pickup. I'm not sure if it does. But yeah, it's $38. It just looks really, really beautiful. I love bees. I love roll and writes. And this is a roll and color, as it calls it. It just looks really stunning. It looks really fun. I watched, you know, a couple of shorter videos on it to see if it's something that I might actually enjoy, because I don't want to get suckered into backing something again and then being like, well, I just wasted a lot of money for something I played once and I'm never going to play again. So I think I would like this just because I am a really big fan of roll and writes. So yeah, so, or flip and writes, whatever the case may be. So that's a game I'm backing. And then after my last video, I don't know how it came up or how I learned about it. I think I was on Facebook and a post popped up in one of the groups where someone was asking, oh, are you backing this? And when I looked at this game, I was like, oh my God, I need it. And it only had like a certain number of hours left in the campaign. So I was able to get in there just in time. And that game is, let me find it. It's Queen Alice from Combo Games. So it just looked really cool. And this one I did select for Spiel Essen pickup because I think it had the option for Spiel Essen pickup. So my pledge, I did the Queen Alice Plus upgrade pack pledge, which is 59 euros, so kind of pricey, but I'm paying it in 2 installments, which helps a little bit. And again, I'm going to hopefully pick it up at Spiel Essen so that I don't have to pay for shipping, because I think it had a Spiel Essen pickup option. But yeah, this just looked really cool. Like, I'm a huge Alice in Wonderland fan, so when I saw this game and I saw that it only had a few hours left in it, I just kind of got suckered in. Like, it just looks really beautiful. So the artwork is just really stunning. I'm just going to hold up my iPad so you can just kind of see it. Like, oh, isn't that just so beautiful? It just looks really, really beautiful. So I ended up backing this. So, you know I have way too many games and I really need to start selling games soon, which I am planning on doing. I just need to find the time. So yes, I really need to do that soon though. But yeah, so this is another game I ended up backing. So that is it for games that I have received and games that I am backing. So let's move on. So to stay game related, first I will talk about a board game design session I had. So I've decided that I really need to get serious about finishing my game. You know, this game has been in the works for God knows how many years now, and it's gone through so many different kinds of iterations, like it's just insane. But I really want to finish it so that I can pitch it to publishers. So in order to get serious about this, I decided to kind of like, you know, work with a friend of mine and who's also designing board games. He's actually published board games, so he's a published designer, and he lives, you know, near me. So we decided that we would get together at least one Saturday per month to have a board game design session. So we did. We got together yesterday. I play tested a game of his, which was really good. A very unique game, a duel game, so between 2 players, Japanese themed. I won't say any more about it because I don't want to give away details of his game, but I will say it is a very, very, very unique, interesting game, and I think he has something really special that he's created, and I hope that he will be able to find a publisher who publishes it because it's very unique. And I think for people who love dueling games, 2-player dueling games, like they would really love this, I think. So yeah, so we play tested his game, and his production quality for the prototype was just amazing. And then I learned why it was so amazing. So he introduced me to this one website, which I am now using, and he taught me how to use it. And I'm super excited. So it's Dextrous. So I'm going to spell it for you guys so you know. It's dextrous.com.au. So it's based out of Australia. So you can sign up for free, but if you sign up for free, you're only limited to 2 projects and a certain number of storage. So you can start paying and get more projects and more storage if you need it. But this website basically allows you to create components for your games and print them out easily. So you can first create a Google spreadsheet or whatever, which you then need to link to this website you need to link it to the component that you want to create. So for example, cards, and then you can create I don't know, I'm probably not explaining this well, but then in the website, you would create the different sections of the card, and then it would populate automatically for each card type if you linked it up properly. So it's just going to be immensely helpful going forward with game design, because one of my problems for game design is that I'm kind of obsessive compulsive and I want things to be perfect. So for example, if I, am creating cards in my game, I'm going to spend way too much time making them look nice, making sure that they all look exactly perfect, whatever. And then, so I just spend way too much time on creating cards for prototypes. This is going to help a lot with me saving time and not spending way too much time on arts and crafts, which is basically what I've been doing. So it's I've just been doing lots of arts and crafts while prototyping, which is a huge waste of time, honestly, with lots of cutting, with coloring, and all kinds of other stuff. So this is really going to save time. Of course, I will probably be spending way more on ink for my printer, because now I'm going to be printing things out. But for my prototype, I think I'll just use very basic images, maybe just outline images for things that I need, so that I'm not spending, so that I'm not using too much ink when I'm printing out things. So we had a really productive game design session yesterday, which I'm really happy about. I think we spent 6 hours. Of course, we took a break for dinner, which I cooked for us. But I feel like it was a very productive session, and I'm really looking forward to more game design sessions. Of course, that takes away time that I would otherwise have for doing other things reading or whatever. So I'm going to have another game design session with this friend on next Saturday, so April 4th. So I'm hoping to have my next iteration of my game ready to play test for April 4th when I meet up with him, after having, printed out all my stuff using this website after he taught me. So I'm really excited. So I'm hoping that game designing will be a lot easier going forward, and that it will, actually happen. And I will actually maybe someday get my game published. I hope that is the goal. But now I can actually work on other games that I have in mind too, because I have a couple of games ideas floating around in my head, 2 that I had actively been working on and had started at some point but never finished. But one game is definitely taking priority over the other, because one game is absolutely my passion project, but I don't want to say too much, but it's about rescuing elephants. So that is the game that takes priority, and that I'm definitely trying to finish so that someday I can hopefully pitch it to publishers. So so that is just a quick update on game design. So let's move on. So I do have a cat update. So not for number 3, colony number 3. Still have no idea if there's cats there. I haven't seen any of them. Still feeding them every day though. The cat update is for colony number 2. A few days ago, a new cat showed up. I don't know where this cat came from, but I'll post pictures here. Just a really beautiful cat. You can tell it's a male cat that hasn't been neutered because of how full the face is. That's something that I learned, that by looking at male cats, by looking at their faces, you can actually tell whether or not they're neutered, which is very interesting. So I posted in a couple of Facebook groups, local Facebook groups, to see if this was a pet that someone had lost, because he was quite friendly. I didn't try to go pet him or anything. But the first time I saw him, he wasn't too far from me. And when he saw me, when I came up to start feeding the cats and, you know, cleaning up like I always do, he just stayed there and was just watching me, like very curious. Like he wasn't even like scared or running away. So that to me indicated like, oh wow, this might have been someone's pet at some point in time, because he wasn't scared. He wasn't acting like a feral cat or anything like that. Just a really sweet, cute cat. Oh my God, I just want to like hug him and kiss him and give him a bath because he's kind of dirty. But yeah, so anyway, so I posted in local Facebook groups and found out from several replies, not just one, but a few replies, that the owners of this cat just let it go and don't care about it and aren't looking for it. So it did belong to someone at one point in time, but they just don't care about getting it back and they're not going to take care of it. So I am working with the rescue organization. We're hopefully going to try to get this cat trapped at some point and then neutered and then hopefully adopted out into a loving home, since it is a friendly cat from what we can tell right now. So that is the update for colony number 2. Colony number 1, we still haven't gotten my cats trapped that I need trapped there. And the one cat that is long-haired and orange, I haven't seen him in quite some time now. So I'm really worried about him because he's been limping for a really long time. And the rescue organization had theorized that maybe he has like an ingrown nail or something like that that's causing him to just limp all the time. But I haven't seen him in so long, so now I'm really worried about him. It's been quite some time. I feel like it's been a few weeks since I've seen that cat. I mean, I know that that can happen, that it can sometimes be a few weeks and then I'll see a cat again. Like sometimes they just, you know, change their schedule, whatever. But I'm really worried about him. I just hope he's okay. So that just worries me a lot. Yeah, but that's my cat update for the week. So let's move on. So I just want to talk briefly about comments that I receive on my videos. Firstly, I want to say that I think it's really weird that I still get comments on overview videos from when I first started content creation, like back in 2020. So I have overview videos from 2020 that I still get new comments on, and they're usually negative comments. Because back in 2020, when I first started making videos on TikTok, and I believe I was the first content creator to start doing that, in fact. So this is before TikTok took off in the board game industry, and which is why I kind of got that overnight fame in the industry, because I was the first one to utilize TikTok for board game content creation. But back then the time limit on videos was 1 minute, and that's when I really would speed up my talking so that I could fit everything into 1 minute. And people always used to theorize that I was maybe talking at a regular pace and then just sped up using some like program or whatever, but no, that was actually me, my own voice, like just talking really fast. And that's why it used to take me like 70 or some takes sometimes to make a video, because of how fast I was talking and how I would stumble over my words. So I still get negative comments on those really old videos to this day, like slow down, take a breath, whatever. So I just ignore them. I just think it's funny, so I just wanted to mention that. But I do get negative comments on more recent videos, and you know, so one of the recent videos I got a negative comment on was like, oh, this, you know, your how to play isn't a how to play, like call it something else. I'm like, why the fuck should I call it something else just because you want me to call it something else? Like, I think it's a how to play. Maybe it's not a how to play in the way you would like it. Maybe it's not the way Rodney Smith teaches games, but it is actually a how to play. Like, I am actually teaching you the game, maybe not in the way you want it though, right? So I get negative comments like that. And then I just try to, at first I was nice and I was like, you know, I understand that my videos aren't for everyone. So, but there's a shit ton of board game content out there. So go find something that, you know, is better for you, that will, you know, teach you the game and, you know, that you can actually learn from. But people don't like it when you say that. Like, people don't like it when you say, oh, just go find a video that works for you. Like, they want you to either delete your video or call it something else or change the style of your videos. Like, it's like, dude, like, I can do what I want. If my videos don't work for you, go find something else. Like, I'm not going to change anything about my channel to try to make you, one person who I don't even know, happy. Like, I'd never even seen this person before on my channel, right? So I do get negative comments like that. I'm not about to change anything. And I did receive an email recently, which made me really happy. So yesterday I got an email from someone and I just want to read it. I'll post a screenshot here, but it's from a teacher. And he said, hello, I just wanted to thank you for your videos. You are a new find to me and your style clicks with how I learn. I was looking for Orloy videos. I'm a long-term experienced high school teacher, and most of the videos I have seen over the years on YouTube to lack an empathy or understanding about the process of learning. You're a natural teacher. And my favorite game of all time is Obsession 2. I really appreciated this because the way I teach board games in my how to play videos is the way I feel like I would want to be taught a board game. Like, I honestly, number one, you all know I'm not a fan of Rodney Smith, but like, let's suppose I am watching a Rodney Smith video. I cannot learn how to play from a Rodney Smith video or other videos like that, because it's basically just, you know, going over each action once, just explaining something once, and you're not really like tying it back into other things as you're explaining other things in the game. Like, it's just very like, you know, it's very robotic. I feel like it's just kind of going through the rule book and that's it, in my opinion, without actually reading the rule book. So of course he writes a script, he rehearses it, whatever, but that doesn't work for me. Like, I cannot learn how to play a video that way. So when I teach games in my how to play videos, I teach them in a way that I feel like I would learn from, and that's how I'm presenting them. So like, for example, my Orloy video, which was very long, like when I'm going through an action, I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can so that you really understand how that action works and how it kind of, you know, fits in with the entire game. That's what I'm trying to do. And so that's what I hope I'm accomplishing when I make these how to play videos, which some people think should not be called how to play videos. But I'm not planning on changing my style. So, you know, again, if my videos don't work for you, there are so many other videos out there that you can watch. But this isn't the first comment I've received on a heavier game, you know, that someone has said it's the best, like it's a good how to learn video. So on my Sweetlands video that I did, for the Kickstarter of Sweetlands, which is published by Uchi Bikoya, I had seen a comment that someone had posted in a game group on Facebook, like UK Games or something like that. And they said that it was the best how to play they found for Sweetlands. And again, that's another game in which I tried explaining the actions the way I would want to be taught the game, not just in a more robotic method, just going through the rule book and being like, okay, like, what is this? Like, what am I actually doing? So like, I mean, I don't mean, you know, to insult anyone's videos or anything like that, but like, in order to learn Orloy, I watched a how to play video. I watched Meeple University's video on it. Like, I watched it, but it didn't actually like teach me the game. Like, I feel like I did not learn really how to play the game. Like, you're going through the different actions and it's like, okay, okay, so you can take this action, you can take this action. But like, when you just explain something just once and then don't really like elaborate on it or, you know, whatever, it just doesn't help. It doesn't help me. So yeah, so I'm really appreciative of this comment from someone who is a teacher and thinks that I am a natural born teacher. So I really appreciate that. So I just wanted to share it. So sometimes you can get positive comments, and this was an email that they sent to me using my website, which by the way, I should probably just get rid of for a number of reasons. Number one, I haven't updated my website in God knows how many years. Number two, it's Wix, which is apparently Israeli owned. So I need to, once the subscription ends, just be done with it. Like, I don't really use my website. Maybe I can find a different host or something. And maybe I can just, I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent here. But yeah, anyway, so that was a comment, an email that I received through my website, which I really appreciated and just wanted to share. So yeah, so let's move on. So for Fiction Book Club, we have been reading Katabasis. And for this week, we were supposed to read chapters 21 through 25. So pages 325 to 394. I feel like these chapters were interesting. So I thought it was really interesting learning about Peter and his background. And it's just really interesting being able to piece together things that happened to him and his background from what we read earlier with Alice. Like, oh, why did Peter all of a sudden stop talking to me? Now Peter's ignoring me. Like, what happened there? And now you get to learn about why that was. So I thought it was really interesting learning about his background. And honestly, it made me like him even more. Because as I mentioned in last week's video, I've started liking Peter and hating Alice. Not hating her, but disliking her. I'm not really a fan of Alice anymore. Not that I was ever a fan of her, but yeah. So poor Peter, you know, he has Crohn's disease, and that's, you know, been a huge struggle for him, and I guess was a struggle during his, you know, as he was a student of Professor Grimes. And oh my God, like, when I found out that Professor Grimes stole his work, his research, I was like, yeah, I don't care that Professor Grimes is dead. Like, Professor Grimes just sounds like an awful person at this point. And the fact that both of them are trying to get him out of hell, like, why just like leave him there? Although we learned from Alice that the reason she wanted to get him out of hell, it seems like, is a little bit more selfish. Yeah. So, like, she wanted to like keep him. I can't remember what it said, but she like, I think that was in this chapter, in the first chapter somewhere, right? I don't remember where it is now. Where is it? Oh, like, didn't she say something about wanting to like keep him like as a bag of bones? I don't know what she was saying. I honestly don't remember. I can't remember now. I can't find it, but if you know what I'm talking about, maybe you can correct me or whatever. But like, it's like, who cares? Just leave him in hell. Like, I don't understand why these two students are in hell trying to get him out. Like, it just, like, now I understand. I mean, Peter thinks that he killed Professor Grimes. Like, okay, fine, but you know, he was an awful person. I mean, and honestly, I don't feel like he really, this is so like, it's like such a gray area, right? It's like, it's really not black and white. Like, when Grimes stole his work and then Grimes made him do like the proofreading to make sure everything was okay, Peter intentionally left out a loop, not knowing that it would kill him though. He just thought that maybe it would just embarrass him, but it ended up killing him. But I don't think Peter should feel guilty for his death, because honestly, if you're the kind of professor who is tenured and is so like, you know, you're the kind of person who's not even going to check the work and just make students do all your work for you. Like, maybe you had that coming. Like, maybe you didn't deserve death, but you had something coming to you, right? Like, being embarrassed, which is what Peter had intended. So yeah, it was a mistake. He didn't mean to kill Professor Grimes, but it happened. And Alice is still telling him like, oh no, it's not your fault. Like, I should have known that even though the loop wasn't closed, that it still needed to be closed because I'm experienced enough, blah, blah, blah. But whatever. I think that both of them should have just been like, yeah, forget Grimes. Let's just leave. Like, I wish that at that point they had just been both, of course they were stuck in the Usher thing, so they both couldn't just leave. But if only they had had this conversation sooner and could have left sooner, that would have been nice. So yeah, so then poor Peter, you know, we don't really find out what happens, but I'm sure we will later. But, you know, it seems like Peter did end up sacrificing his life so that Alice could finally get out. And that really saddened me. I didn't, you know, want to see Peter die, so I hope he's not dead. I mean, the chapters that we read kind of hint at him being dead, like, oh, his blood is, you know, going to be carried by the Kripkes in those bladder bags, whatever, but I hope he's not dead. I'm just confused about one thing. So on page 376, and I think that this is, no, I bookmarked two things. On page 376, we're learning about Professor Grimes and his background and this war, and I am just so confused. I thought that this book was taking place in modern day times. Like, very freaking confused. So it's talking about, you know, oh, during the war years, everyone was obsessed with the bomb, but afterwards there were solid state physics, the transistor, the computer. New work in quantum physics was putting Einstein in his grave. Fred Hoyle coined the Big Bang moniker, and to his dismay, it took off. Nash proposed his game theory, equilibrium, in the 50s, and this set off a flurry of research into social paradoxes. The world was getting faster, more bewildering. Questions exploded, and Jacob Grimes Jacob Grimes chased them down each rabbit hole. Like, what? I'm so confused. Why did I think that this was present day? I really don't know. Like, was there any indication that this book, or is it present day? Then how old is freaking Professor Grimes? Like, I am so confused. I am really confused by this. I'm just gonna Google it, actually. Let's find out right now. Because, like, is he really old? And does she, like, really try, like, you know, she was trying so hard to, like, impress him, and she, like, you know, that all that talk about sexual attraction and this and that. Let me look it up. So what year does the book Katabasis take place in? I don't know if that's the right way to ask it, but let's see. 1980s. Huh. How were we supposed to know that? Was there any indication that it takes place during the 1980s? Was there? Oh, it says that she mentions her admission to the college in 1988. Okay, maybe I missed that or didn't remember that. So I was like really confused when I read this about Professor Grimes. I was like, wait a second, I thought it was modern times. Okay, so I guess I was just wrong there. And then another thing I just bookmarked because, you know, it's local to me, Cornell and the clock tower, just seeing a mention of that, I just thought it was fun. So I just kind of bookmarked that. But yeah, so she mentions here, she thought, it's a clock tower. It's the center of campus. For at Cornell, you never needed a watch nor a map. You only gazed up to the bell tower and you knew your way home. Like, yeah, like if you're ever driving into Ithaca, depending on where you're coming from, you will see the clock tower. I feel like for most places, you can see the clock tower when you're coming into Ithaca. Like if you're coming in from 96B, you can see it. If you're coming in from across the lake, you can even see it, if I'm remembering correctly. So I feel like you can always see the clock tower. Yeah, so I just thought that was a nice little local reference, which I appreciated, so I just bookmarked that. Yeah, so I don't really have many more thoughts about this. I'm just hoping that Peter's not actually dead, but I guess we will find out. So for next week, why don't we read chapters 26 through 29, which will take us from page 395 to the end of 460. So we only have 2 more sessions to go, and then we will finally be done with this book. So far I haven't given up on it because I'm actually still curious to find out what happens. So yeah, I know Sandra's kind of over it, but I'm not over it yet, which is surprising because there's been a number of books we've read which I just did not finish for this book club because I was over them, but I'm curious to see how this ends. So yeah, for next week, just please read those. Again, that was chapter 20, I don't even remember what I said, chapter 26 to 29 for next week. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So for our nonfiction book club, we've been reading Iran, A Modern History, and I am terrible. I did not finish the current chapter. Well, current for me because I didn't finish it, but maybe old for you guys since you did finish it. But I still haven't finished Consolidation of the Islamic Republic. Like, as I mentioned earlier in this video, like I will now be dedicating more time to board game design as well. So yeah, but hopefully I will try to finish it at some point. And then there are 2 more chapters left. So the next 2 chapters are Facing the Foe, the Hostage Crisis, the Iraq-Iran War, and the Aftermath. I'm actually really interested in reading that chapter, so I really should. Maybe for next week I'll just skip the rest of the chapter that I was reading and just skip on to that, because I actually am really interested, especially since I just saw an interesting video on Instagram about the hostage crisis. So I'll just mention it now, and then maybe I'll mention it when we actually start talking about this chapter. But apparently during the hostage crisis, the Iran government let all of the black hostages go and kept the white hostages because the people, they were like, oh, aren't you like, you know, kind of oppressed in your country? Like, isn't there like systemic abuse and, you know, whatever against black people in America? And then the black hostages were like, yes, there is. So then the Iran government let them go and just kept the white hostages. They only kept 1 black hostage because that hostage had like, he was like privy to special like information that he had acquired, so it wouldn't have been safe to let him go, but they let the others go. So I thought that that was really interesting. So I am very curious to read this chapter, and I definitely want to read about the Iran-Iraq war, Iraq-Iran war rather. Definitely interested in learning about that. So, but I just want to, so I don't know if I'll actually end up finishing the current chapter, or maybe I'll just skip ahead to 16. Let me know what you guys are doing. If you've already read chapter 16, maybe I'll just skip ahead and read that, honestly, and not finish the Consolidation of the Islamic Republic chapter, which I read about half of, I think. Maybe I'll just try to skim through it. I don't know. But I just want to talk about a few comments from the last video. So I know I am coming into this with biases, right? So I am a practicing Shia Muslim. I always, like, you know, not always, but like in Instagram stories, I'm always posting about like, you know, how proud I am to be Shia. Like, it's the Shias who are currently standing up to the evil Epstein empire, the United States and Israel. It is literally only the Shias right now who are fighting against the evil Epstein empire. Like, if you look at Hezbollah, they're Shia. If you look at the Houthis in Yemen, they're Shia. So it is the Shias, and now Iran, it is the Shias who are fighting these evil entities, while the Sunni Arab states are actually helping these evil entities, the Gulf Sunni Arab states. So you have these Gulf nations who have allowed, military bases on their land. In some cases they were actively helping Israel in some cases during the genocide. They were allowing, all kinds of stuff to happen, which should not be happening if you are a Muslim country. So I am very proud to be Shia, and I'm very proud to have like Iranian ancestry, and I'm very proud of what Iran is doing right now and standing up to, this evil empire. So I know I come into this with biases. That being said, do I like seeing people killed? No. Do I like the fact that this current government is responsible for killing people? No, especially if they're just ordinary citizens living in Iran, just trying to live their lives. I would not approve of that, and I do not approve of that. But when the government came into power, I guess my question is it possible to have a revolution and form a new government and just let the people of the previous government walk free? Wouldn't there be a risk of them revolting or starting another revolution to get back into power or form another government that is similar to the one that was just ousted? How do you ensure that that's not going to happen? And I said I understand it. It doesn't mean I approve of it, but I understand why you would kill the people who worked in the previous government instead of just letting them walk free, because you might be afraid, okay, maybe they're going to gather support and then overthrow us and then reinstate their old government. You don't know. So I'm just very curious. I just want to know if there's ever been in modern history a revolution that caused one government to be overthrown, and that those people of the overthrown government were just allowed to go on living freely in the country under the new government. I would be very curious to know if that has happened. And I'm talking about revolutions. I'm not talking about elections we have here in the United States, elections every 4 years, no one's going to go killing the former president and all the people who worked in the Congress or whatever. That's not going to happen. I'm talking about revolutions, because this was a revolution. This was not just, a smooth transition of power where the Shah was just oh yeah, I just give up and you guys can come and take my place. No, this was a revolution. So in modern history, during revolutions, once revolutions have happened, what happens to the people who were formerly in power? Have any of them been allowed to stay? Were they allowed to just live freely and just go about their lives? Or were they imprisoned for life? Or were they killed? I just really would like to know in modern history. I guess in older history, they probably would have been killed, I'm guessing. I would have to go back and read about, for example, the French Revolution, if King Louis or whoever the king was that was ousted, what happened then? I'm assuming that most people would have been killed, but I don't know that for a fact, so I would have to read up on that. But I am curious about that. So if you know anything about that, let me know. But I know it is very disturbing. People don't like reading about this. I don't like reading about this. I don't like reading that, this is what happened. I don't like reading that the government killed people. And especially as I discussed in the last video with these different kinds of groups that arose that, seemed they just seemed like a bunch of thugs just kind of running things. I don't like that. But at the same time, I can understand that when a new government comes into power, it's probably going to take them some time to really, understand what's happening around the country, get control of everything, and monitor everything that's happening, right? Iran is a pretty big country too. So, I understand that as well. So again, as I said, I'm coming into this with biases. I am a Shia Muslim. It makes me happy to know that there is a Shia country, a country that is known to have as its religion, official religion, Shiism. Does that mean I want all these atrocities to happen within the country? No, I want there to be religious freedom. I don't want people to be persecuted for being Baha'i or whatever. I feel like if you are confident in your own faith, you should not care what someone else is practicing. Baha'is do not pose a threat to Iran. And as I said before, I think it was actually a mistake to persecute Baha'is, because then look what happened. They went and formed, Israel became the center of their religion. That's where their headquarters or whatever is, so actually chicken and egg problem. I don't know which happened first. But I'm guessing that the persecution of Baha'is started, and then they formed their religious center in Israel. Like, I'm guessing that that's the order in which it happened, but I could be wrong. So again, that's something I would need to do research on. Yeah, but so yeah, I mean, I'm happy that there's a Shia country, but I don't want religious persecution. I don't want persecution of people, you know, just for whatever reasons. Like, you know, if a woman is, and again, today things are different, so you can actually be without hijab and not worry about being killed, contrary to what you see on social media. Like, are there going to be instances in which women are, you know, harassed or treated badly because they're not wearing hijab? Yes, but that's because of the person who is doing that. It's not necessarily the whole state that would want that to happen. So, you know, it's like in Iraq. So Iraq, you know, when I was in Iraq, I could wear I would wear hijab in the religious cities, but if I'm in Baghdad, I'm not going to wear hijab. Same in Iran. Like, if I'm in Tehran, like, I can like walk pretty freely without hijab and not worry, or I could wear a very loose scarf, which I would, where like most of my hair is showing. And you know, when I was in Iran, it was a very long time ago. It was in 2004, so I haven't been to Iran since 2004, so it's a very, very long time. And I was, before this war on Iran started, thinking that one of my next big trips again would be to Iran, because I really, really miss it. But yeah, so, you know, it depends on the city. It depends on, you know, who is out there patrolling the streets, and whether you just happen to get a thug who seems to be power hungry, or someone who is, you know, not power hungry and is not going to do bad things that they shouldn't be doing. Sorry, I totally went off on a tangent. So yes, so I was saying I don't appreciate people being persecuted for, you know, different things, their religion, for not wearing hijab, for whatever. You know, there should be freedom in the country. I think you can have freedom in a country while still having a religious government. I think that those things are possible. Unfortunately, as I've said before, with power comes corruption. Like, no matter where you are in the world, with power comes corruption. And that includes in Iran. So people in power are going to be corrupt. They just are. It's just a fact. You know, case in point, like, you will see some Iranian people in the government whose, you know, children are like living in Europe with very un-Islamic lifestyles, yet they are benefiting from the government that, you know, imposes an Islamic lifestyle on people. So I would say that that's corrupt. I would say it's corrupt that if you are benefiting from a government that, you know, imposes certain rules on the people that you are ruling over, and then you send your own children off to go live wherever, and they are just doing whatever, like, and, you know, I would say maybe, I don't know if that's corrupt, but it's certainly unfair. Like, that's certainly unfair, right? So yeah, so I don't agree with persecution. I just think that if you have a government, even a religious government, even a Shia religious government, that you should allow people freedoms. And I would say that, you know, if I were the ruler of Iran, I would maybe be more like, you know, I would still probably have like some rules about modesty, just because, you know, this is going way into, you know, other stuff, but I, you know, as a Muslim country, I think I would probably still forbid, like, you know, people wearing bikinis on beaches and things like that, which I believe are forbidden in Dubai as well. But like, look at all the Western people who love Dubai and go to Dubai still. So even those modesty laws in Dubai haven't stopped people from loving that country. So yeah, so I think it would be something similar to that if it were me in charge of the government. Like, I would still want a Shia government, but still have, you know, certain rules in place so that it still feels like a Muslim country. And I don't think that that's like such a, you know, I don't feel like that's taking away a lot of freedom. Like, you know, I feel like the West has come to view freedom as just women being able to walk around naked, do whatever. Like, I don't think clothing is what determines freedom. And there is freedom that comes with modesty as well. So the freedom to be recognized for and, you know, appreciated for your mind and what you actually bring to society, not just your body and, you know, things like that. So yeah, so anyway, I went off on a total tangent here. But the point is to say that I know I have biases, but that doesn't mean that I approve of everything that the government has done or is doing. But currently, I do stand behind the government in fighting against the evil Epstein empire, because it is one of the only nations on earth doing so. So yeah, and I see a lot of Westerners, non-Muslims, standing behind Iran and supporting Iran. I've seen so many, this is funny, but I've seen a lot of thirst trap videos for like Abbas Araghchi, for example, who is the foreign minister, and I just really love him too. I just think he is so charismatic. He's so intelligent. And if you look at the education level of these people who are in the Iran government, who are, you know, might see videos of, if you follow all the news coming out of Iran on Instagram, for example, you can see these people, these Iranian officials talking, and you can learn about their educational background. Like, these people are highly, highly educated, as opposed to American politicians, for example. Like, there is no fucking comparison. Like, when you listen to an Iranian official talk, it's like, and you listen to an American politician talk, like, it's like insane. It's like day and night. Like, you can tell that one group of people is highly educated, they're respectable, they, you know, and the other group is just like a bunch of toddlers, like little babies, just throwing tantrums and saying whatever comes to their mind. It's like insane. Like Pete Hegseth, like, oh my God, like comparing him to like Abbas Araghchi, for example, like no fucking comparison. So yeah, so I've been seeing a lot of like thirst trap videos for like Abbas Araghchi and other people that you'll see, yeah, like that one guy who was like the head of the military or whatever. I don't remember his name right now, but I've seen videos of him. And Iran is doing like, I feel like Iran is really winning the social media game right now with the videos that they are producing. So I hate AI, but I guess I will have to let this slide. But Iran has been making these AI videos, these like Lego videos, and they really are so freaking good. Like, they are really good. If you haven't seen one of these, I highly recommend it. But yeah, so God, I'm just rambling. I don't know. So I don't know what I'm saying really. I guess I'm just saying that yes, I know I have biases. Yes, I currently support the government fighting against Israel and the USA, and I hope that they are victorious. I do not support persecution within the country, but again, as I mentioned a few videos ago, like, if you are actively speaking out against the government of Iran, then you are just providing free propaganda for Israel and the United States. There's a time and a place, and I think the time and place is not right now. Because if you keep on constantly just focusing on, you know, the things that Iran has done wrong, you're basically saying like, oh yeah, it's justified, go in and blow up Iran. Like, that's all I see from people who support this war on Iran, is them like pointing out all the things in the country that they think are wrong and why we should be bombing them, without, you know, while ignoring all the things that are wrong in the United States. So again, time and place and glass houses, right? So yeah, so I know I have biases, and I guess I just wanted to comment on that. So again, I will try to, I think I'm just going to maybe skip the rest of the chapter and skim through it, and then start reading the Iran-Iraq war chapter and the hostage crisis chapter. Yeah, so that's what I might try to do for next week. I hope I will get a chance to do a good amount of reading for next week. It's been really hard. Life has just been busy, but I will do my best. But yeah, just let me know your thoughts on current events or whatever relating to Iran in the comments below. And if you have any questions, you know, I am not the most knowledgeable person, as I've said time and time again, but I try to stay abreast of what's happening in Iran right now, of course, and as a Shia Muslim, if you have any questions about that, like, feel free to ask. Like, I know that I am probably the only, you know, I mean, even in terms of Muslim content creators, there's not a lot of Muslim content creators in the board game space. There's just a couple of us. And then if you look at Shias, I am the only Shia content creator in the board game space, right? So if you ever have any questions about that, like, feel free to ask in the comments below, because, you know, it's a term that people are hearing more often now. It's a thing, you know, I see a lot more Westerners talking about how it's only the Shias who are standing up to the evil Epstein empire. You know, a lot of people getting behind Shias. I see a lot of people posting, so Shias, we have like these, I won't call them songs, they're latmiyas. So basically, I guess I'll call, the English word, I'll call them a song, but they're more like these chants or songs that have, religious significance, but also like, significance to what's happening today. And they kind of, give people the, like it kind of gives you, like it makes you emotional, and it gives you like can give you the kind of the courage you need to maybe go out and fight or do something or stand up to evil, right? So I love these, and I watch a lot of them. They are really, really good. There are some really good ones out there, especially since the US and Israel started their war on Iran. There have been some really amazing ones that have come out, and I've like saved all of them on Instagram so I can watch them over and over again. But I've seen so many non-Muslims and Westerners watching these too, and just being really like, I don't know, like entranced by them, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Like, they really love them, and they see, that Israel and the United States have no fucking idea what they're up against. Like, because they really don't understand the spirit of Shias and how we really do have like this revolutionary spirit, and how it really is within our blood to fight against injustice everywhere. Like, it is in our blood. Like, every day is Ashura, every land is Karbala. Like, it's taught to us from a very young age when we learn about the Battle of Karbala that yes, you should always be fighting against oppression. You should always be standing up against tyranny. You should always, do this everywhere you are. Like, just, it's very important to Shias. And I really appreciate that the rest of the world is finally seeing that. And I am very, very lucky and proud to be Shia. So so if you have any questions about that as well, feel free to leave that in the comments below as well. I guess I will finally stop rambling. So let's move on. So now I'll talk about the thing that I've just kind of put off for a few weeks that I said I would talk about, but then I'd get too tired or run out of time or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So in this week's Rant of the Week, I want to talk a little bit about Islamophobia, and I want to talk about how I used to have this one board gaming friend who I would play board games with for 3 years, almost exactly 3 years when the friendship ended, and how he turned out to be Islamophobic. And I didn't, this is not something I knew. This is just something that kind of just started happening recently. And so I guess I'll first mention how I became board gaming friends with this person. So the very first time I showed up to Millennium Games' Play Something New, I ended up playing the Play Something New game that night with him and his brother-in-law. And then the next week when I went back, I recognized their faces, so I ended up playing a board game with them, and then eventually that just evolved into a board gaming friendship. So I ended up, almost every Friday playing games with him and his brother-in-law, sometimes his wife, sometimes a friend of his who I then became friends with, and I ended up making other friends within this board gaming community as well. But primarily I would end up playing games with this person and his brother-in-law and so on and so forth, right? So for 3 years, I became board gaming friends with him before the genocide of the Palestinians started. So I met him in March of 2023, and then October 7th, 2023 happened. And then I've been very vocal about my opinions and how anti-genocide I am, how anti-Israel I am, and all of that, right? So for all this time that I've been extremely vocal, like, he never really commented on anything I would post on Facebook, never said anything about any of that, right? It's only when I started posting about Iran that he decided to now get involved and start commenting on stuff that I'm posting and share his very ignorant opinions about Iran. And that's when I realized, wow, compartmentalizing is really, really fucking hard. So I made a post on Facebook, which only my Facebook friends can see, but it was about Randy Flynn, and I was calling out Randy Flynn for one of his shitty takes, basically, him basically posting propaganda for a war on Iran, and so Randy Flynn I would consider to be a warmonger, basically, because he was posting all this shit that was basically propaganda and encouraging a war on Iran. And then on the flip side, he's like, poor Iranians are getting killed. Like, yeah, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen? So I posted about that on Facebook, and then this person, he commented, and so we would get into these discussions in our comment sections, in my comment section, or on his post, like if he posted something on his Facebook more recently, because again, I never really paid attention to what he posted prior to this, but I don't recall him ever posting anything relating to Palestine, to Muslims, to Iran, to killings of any type, and I'm mentioning that because I'll get to why I'm mentioning that in a minute, but to killings of any type in the USA. I never saw him post anything about that on his own Facebook. But now that I'm posting about Iran, he, is responding to comments on my post, and he is posting Islamophobic shit on his profile. So on his profile, I'm gonna post screenshots, and I know you guys might be like, well, this isn't any like person in the board gaming industry, so like, why are you posting screenshots? Well, if you go to his profile on Facebook, he has himself listed as a digital creator, so fair game. If he's gonna present himself as a digital creator and his posts are public, then they're free for me to take screenshots of and post over here, which I'm gonna do because I'm gonna exemplify I'm going to show why his posts are Islamophobic and talk about that because it's something that's important to me, being a Muslim. So on March 13th, he posted this post, which is second one in a week. At least this time, the ISIS-linked terrorist wasn't initially accused of being an Islamophobe. So I responded on this post and I linked him to some articles about who commits more violence in the United States. Is it Muslims? Actually, it's not. It's right-wing terrorists. It's white supremacists who commit more violence in the United States, more political violence. But does he care about facts? He does not care about facts. In fact, he wouldn't even bother to read the articles that I posted. And for some reason, they didn't turn up as clickable, but you could have easily just copy and pasted the URL, which is exactly what I did because he private messaged me. He had a habit of taking public discussions to private message because then he would try to like emotionally manipulate me in these private messages, and I'll explain that a little bit later. But basically that's what he would do. But I posted those links. Did he bother reading them? No, he didn't. So then I basically copy and pasted it, and then I posted a screenshot snippet from one of the articles, and then his response was, oh, but see, it's post 9/11. If you include 9/11, then Muslims have are responsible for the most amount of political violent acts in the United States. Well, to that I say, you're really fucking stupid if you still think that it was Muslims behind 9/11. Like, the amount of people now who are aware of 9/11 being an Israeli false flag, like there's a lot of people who are now today aware of that. People like me were aware of that a long fucking time ago because people like me were aware of the Clean Break Papers and the Project for the New American Century a long fucking time ago. Like just a few years after 9/11, like we were aware of these and we knew what the goal was. We could see the whole plan laid out before us. Like it's literally laid out there, on paper, like what the plan was. They needed a catalyst in order to then go to war in Afghanistan and Iraq, and then eventually Syria, and then eventually Iran, which is what they're doing now. This whole plan was laid out, and there were people who said they needed a catalyst. Like, those words were actually uttered. And if you look at the amount of evidence surrounding 9/11, you can see that it was an Israeli false flag. It was something that was carried out by Israel. This was not planned by Muslims. It was planned by Israel. So Israeli false flag. So it should not be considered an Islamic terrorist attack. It should be considered an Israeli terror attack, in fact. Okay. And I'm going to link a video, which I linked in last week's video as well, but I'm going to post a link again below for you all to go watch. And this is not a guy I even like. Like at the end of the video, he makes some kind of like racist comment about Arabs, whatever. I don't even like this guy, but he goes through, and shows a lot of evidence showing how that this was an Israeli false flag. And again, with the amount of evidence out there, with the amount of facts, with the amount of information out there that you can consume, if you still don't know this, then yes, you are stupid. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, you are. So, people who just refuse to look at facts, who refuse to seek out information, you're choosing to remain ignorant about something. And in this case, Bruce is choosing to remain ignorant about 9/11. So yeah, he is stupid. Like, I don't know what else to say about that, okay? So he posted this and we got into a discussion about, Islamophobia. I got into a little bit back and forth. And the reason I say that he was emotionally manipulative in private messages when he would take these conversations to private messages is because he would refuse to present facts. Like, I would repeatedly say, well, give me your facts, because he would just keep on trying to tell me how I'm wrong, and oh no, Sarah, but it's actually this way, and but he would never actually present actual facts. Like, give me some statistics then. Show me I'm wrong. Like, actually show me some evidence. Like, show me something. But his response would be, well, I'm not going to show you any because you're just going to call me stupid. You're just not going to look at it. Not true. Number one, until this friendship ended, I had actually never once called him stupid. I had made general statements in, calling people in general stupid. Like, oh, people who X, Y, and Z are stupid. I've made plenty of statements like that. But if you take that personally and you think that I'm calling you stupid, well, then maybe that says something about you. And maybe that is, you telling yourself like, yeah, I don't read, I don't educate myself. And Sarah sees that and she thinks I'm one of those stupid people. Well, then go fucking educate yourself. Like, then stop being stupid. Like, I don't know. So anyway, so he would always say in private messages, like, oh, you're just going to call me stupid, so I'm not going to send you anything. And then he wouldn't. Like, okay, like, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Like, you're not even going to show me your facts, then how am I supposed to argue and prove you wrong if you refuse to show me anything? So that's how it would go in private messages, and it was just really fucking annoying, to be honest. And then, it was all about like, oh, you don't respect me. See, I talk to you nice and calmly, and then you respond with like F-bombs here and there. Like, yes, I know I swear a lot. It's just whatever. But, it's hard not to swear when you're dealing with really uneducated people. Like, it's just hard. Okay, so that's all I can really say about that. And as far as respect, okay, so if you are posting Islamophobic shit, what does Islamophobic shit do when you post it? It encourages other people to be Islamophobic. It encourages people to hate Muslims. It encourages people to view Muslims as the other. It encourages all those white supremacists you see in this country who think that Islam is such a big threat in this country. It encourages people like them to, go out and kill Muslims. There are so many hate crimes committed against Muslims. And again, I see it on the rise now. In fact, as a Muslim, I feel like Islamophobia is more prevalent now than it was right after 9/11. Like, honestly, it feels that way to me as a Muslim. So yeah, so when you post Islamophobic shit, you are just encouraging people to commit hate crimes against Muslims. That is what you are doing. And this person, Bruce, he did post quite a bit of Islamophobic shit. So he posted this on March 13th. I believe our friendship ended. So I think I blocked him from Facebook in my text messages, I think on March 15th, if I remember correctly, which is when he posted this. So on March 15th, he posted this post from this other guy. He walked in and asked if it was an ROTC class. Told that it was. He opened fire. He killed the instructor and wounded 2 more before the class attacked him and killed him, a cadet stabbing him to death with a knife. Fuck with the best. Die like the rest, bitch. And tell the 72 virgins we said hello. Again, Islamophobic. The reason it's Islamophobic, number one, it mentions, the 72 virgins thing. Like, this is so overused. It's not fucking true. It leads to so many people, like, it's a huge misunderstanding. Like, this is not fucking true. First of all, if you knew anything about Islam, you would know that the number one thing is that if you kill one innocent person, you will be judged on Judgment Day as though you killed all of humanity. Like, that is what Islam says about someone killing an innocent person. That is what, our holy book says. That is what, that's how killing is viewed in Islam. So if you kill one innocent person, you will be judged on Judgment Day as though you killed all of humanity. Now, are people like Bruce gonna post that on their Facebook? Of course they're not. They're not going to do that. Instead, they're going to post shit like this, which is again going to get people to think that, oh, all Muslims are like this. Oh, see, it's, crimes from Muslims are so prevalent in the US. Like, I should be fearful of my life when I'm around a Muslim. Like, no, you shouldn't. Actually, more people should be afraid when they're around some right-winger nutcase or a white supremacist than they should if they're around a Muslim in this country. When, again, you look at the facts and you look at who is responsible for more political violence in this country. It's again, white supremacists and right-wingers. It's not Muslims. But you know, he's posting this because again, he's making it seem like Muslims are something that you should be afraid of in this country. And I just want to point out the fact that before this, he never once posted about any type of killing in the United States. Did he ever post about any kind of shooting in the United States? Any school shooting? No. Any kind of like violence that has occurred in the United States? I scrolled through his entire Facebook back to the end of his feed, as far back as I could go before I unfriended and blocked him. So I scrolled all the way back to July 2020, which is when he created his Facebook account. Not one other post about any other violent act that had taken place in the United States. But now he's posting these posts about this one killing that happened in the United States. Then on March 16th, he posts this: rotten and stupid, but infinitely less than actually shooting the humans you disagree with. So then he's posting about some imam's vehicle being shot multiple times in Utah, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then on March 16th, he posts some stupid video. I'm just going to post a screenshot. Obviously, I can't play the whole video. It's from some stupid Zionist diaspora Iranian again. And I just want to point out the fact, actually, I don't even know if she's Iranian, but I just want to point out the fact that, again, the diaspora Iranians in the United States do not fucking represent the Iranians inside of Iran. Now, when I tried telling that to Bruce, when I've tried presenting him with, you know, posts, you know, media that has come out of Iran, he doesn't want to look at it because according to him, Iran cannot be trusted. Anything coming out of Iran cannot be trusted. It's all fake. It's all doctored. Nothing out of Iran is real. It's all just bullshit and fake. So what the hell are you supposed to do with a person like that? Like everything you show to him is fake, but then when he presents stuff to you, it's all fucking real? Like that's just fucking convenient, isn't it? So all the videos of people, like the mass protests we saw in Iran of like hundreds of thousands of people, in some instances 1 million or more, Iranians protesting in support of their government against the attacks from the United States and Israel, you know, according to Bruce, all fake, all fake. No, it's not fucking fake. Like just go on Instagram, find people who are posting these videos. You can look at them, you know, people who are the kind who will try to like find out if a video is AI or not, have acknowledged that these videos are real. There's no indication in them that they are AI videos. So no, not fucking fake. These videos are fucking real. There have been people interviewed in Iran, just your average Iranian citizens. I've seen so many interviews of people who again are supportive of their government and against the attacks from Israel and the United States. The people you see protesting in support of the attacks in the United States are Zionist and they are diaspora Iranians, and again do not represent the Iranians inside of Iran. You will never ever see a protest that is in support of this war on Iran without the Israeli flag present. That fucking tells you everything you need to fucking know. It tells you everything you fucking need to know. So no, I don't fucking give a shit what this person has to say about Iran, whatever. And I don't give a fucking shit what Bruce has to say about the people inside of Iran and how they're being persecuted and this and that. Like, fuck you. Like, you don't give a shit about the people inside of America who are being persecuted. You don't give a shit about the systemic injustices that we have in the United States. I haven't seen you once talk about all of that, not once. You didn't condemn the deaths of Renee Good or Alex Pretty, but all of a sudden Bruce is so fucking concerned about the people inside of Iran and that we need to free them. Like, no, just fuck you. You don't get to have a say on what happens to Iran whatsoever. You have nothing to do with Iran, and if you can't even recognize the injustices inside of your own country, like again, glass houses, like shut the fuck up. Like no one should even give a shit about what you think when you don't even give a shit about what's happening in your own country. So no, I am infuriated by stupid Americans like this. Like, do not talk to me about how we need to free Iran if you haven't once ever said anything about what's happening in the United States today, which of course Bruce hasn't. He has never once talked about all the issues that we have inside of America that should fucking get addressed, right? You know, again, when I scrolled back on his Facebook profile, was there anything about all the Black people who have been shot and killed in the United States? No, nothing. Renee Good, Alex Party, nothing. Like, seriously, just no. Yeah. Okay. Then he posted on March 18th. Not wanting to be blown up or shot by radical terrorists screaming Allahu Akbar is not Islamophobia. It's a rational response to real repeated violence. Stop weaponizing the word phobia to shut down every conversation the left cannot win. You do not get to redefine common sense as bigotry. Mind you, I had blocked him out on March 15th, so at this point, I'm not commenting on any of his bullshit posts, right? So again, another stupid bullshit Islamophobic post from him. Like, oh no, you don't get to redefine this, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, shut the fuck up. Real repeated violence? Okay, show me the real repeated violence, but then show me the real repeated violence from the white supremacists in this country and the right-wingers and all the violence that they've committed. Because if you're not showing that to me, then shut the fuck up, because you don't actually care then about violence, you just are Islamophobic. Like, if you're not posting about all the violence that happens in the United States, you're just fucking Islamophobic when you're only posting about violence that is done by a person who happened to be Muslim. There is not some real, repeated violence in this country from Muslims. Again, more attacks are committed by those who are white supremacists and, far right people, right wingers, not by Muslims. And there is not a threat to you that you are going to get killed by a Muslim in this country. Like, no. Like, are you walking around afraid of Muslims? Because if you are, you're just fucking stupid. Like, seriously. If you're walking around being afraid that a Muslim is going to kill you, like, no, you're just dumb. Like, it's not going to happen. Okay? So again, Islamophobic. Like, I don't even know what to say about all this bullshit. Then he posted on March 22nd. I know some people have strong feelings about our president, but perspective matters. Today, a real dictatorship in Iran publicly hanged 3 young protesters in Qom, including 19-year-old wrestler Saleh Mohammadi. In America, people use their freedom to call the president a dictator every day without fear. If you've never lived where speech equals death, please stop using that word out of context. It's an insult to those actually dying for the freedoms we take for granted. Okay, first of all, does Bruce even know why Saleh Mohammadi was killed? Probably not, because again, according to him, every single thing that comes out of Iran is fake. It's all fake, can't be trusted, right? But everything else he sees is 100% real. So Saleh Mohammadi was killed because he killed police officers with a machete. So he literally killed people with a machete. Like, that's a really fucking terrible way to go. A machete. So that's why he was killed. Am I saying that the death penalty was justified? I don't want to comment on that. Like, people in the United States get the death penalty all the time for killing people. So really, same fucking thing here. This person, he killed some police officers with a machete, so he was killed himself. Like, he got the death penalty for doing that. Do we know why he killed those people with a machete? I don't know. Like, that I don't know if we know why he decided to kill them, but he did. That's what happened, and that's why he was killed. Again, not commenting on whether it was fair or not that he himself got the death penalty for killing other people, but that is why he was killed. So if you're gonna present this like it was just some random teenager who just got killed for no fucking reason, then you're not fucking presenting all of the facts. You're just not. So no, again, another stupid Islamophobic post and anti-Iran post, making it seem like Iran is just going around killing anyone it wants to for no fucking reason at all. No. So you need to give all of the facts. So, and then him saying, this person saying at the end, like, freedoms we take for granted, blah, blah, blah. Like, do you think America is such a free country right now? No. Have you not seen how much it's been criminalized to criticize Israel, to say anything about Zionists in this country? Is that freedom of speech? Like, look at all the places in the United States that it's become like basically a criminal act to do that. Like, you're, you know, that's not freedom then. Like, if you can't openly criticize other governments, if you can't openly criticize your own government, that's not freedom. So again, here is Bruce talking about Iran. Again, glass houses. Like, seriously. I don't know what to do with this, like, bullshit. Yeah, so I think I'll stop there. And then again, he made some other post about something coming out of Iran. But this time, apparently he posted about some other video that someone else posted coming out of Iran. But because it supports his own viewpoint, it's of course going to be real and not fake and doctored this time, like every other thing that comes out of Iran is fake and doctored, whatever. Like, I just cannot deal with ignorant people. I cannot deal with people who refuse to actually look at facts, who refuse to dig deep. But here's the thing about Bruce. He thinks that he is educated. He thinks that he is looking at all the information out there and that he is totally unbiased. He had repeatedly said to me, like, oh, I don't follow mainstream news. I go and find news that is actually accurate and is not mainstream so that I know I'm getting the truth and blah, 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 blah. Like, if you are stupid enough to think that you are getting news that is 100% neutral, like, then yeah, like, you are stupid. There is no 100% neutral news entity out there. Everyone has biases. Everyone is giving you news from a certain perspective. And that's why you do need to expose yourself to other perspectives, like, and which he refuses to do. He is only going to outlets that support his viewpoint. He is not actually getting neutral news that allows him to look at things objectively. Like, no, he's fucking not. He's going to sources that support his Islamophobic, anti-Iran viewpoints. You are not educated on the topics you claim to be educated about when you actually don't look at the sources from those places that you actually don't want to look at. So if you think that every piece of news coming out of Iran is fake, well, you're not looking at any of it then. So then how can you possibly even respond to it? You don't know what's coming out then because you refuse to look at it. You think it's all fucking fake. Like, these people live in their own fantasy land and you cannot deal with them. You can't actually show them anything because everything you show them is fake, is doctored. Like, there's no reasoning with people like this. You just can't reason with someone like this who thinks that everything you present to them is fake, but everything that they present to you is real and the truth. Like, what are you supposed to do with someone that ignorant? I don't know. But anyway, the friendship ended. And, you know, I realized at one game night, a week before, maybe a few days before, I think the friendship ended, that I cannot compartmentalize. So prior to the board gaming friendship ending, he had made some statements about Native Americans, which were really just awful, just atrocious. So he was basically justifying the genocide of the Native Americans by saying that all the Native Americans who were living here were savages and that the only reason they were killed is because the settlers, the colonialists, were just trying to claim some land for themselves, but then the Native Americans were killing them. So of course they had to kill the Native Americans so that they could get land for themselves. But it was all, you know, just completely innocent. They just wanted land and they should just be allowed to take land so that they can look after their families and take care of themselves and, you know, expand and so on and so forth. But that's why all the Native Americans were killed, because they were savages and they were trying to kill the white people who were trying to settle the land. And then he said that had that not happened, had the Europeans not come to the United States, this would still be a land of savages today. So yes, he believes that all the Native Americans were savages. They were all just like living in the Stone Ages, and, you know, and it's a good thing that the Europeans came and colonized and committed a genocide of the Native Americans so that, you know, this country could become great. And this is someone who, before the friendship ended, said to me, I cannot be friends with someone who doesn't love America the way I do. Like, what the fuck is there to love about this country right now? What is there to love about this country right now? And saying that does not make me un-American, and it doesn't make me any less American than he is. We were both born in this country. We're both equally American, you know, so as the other. So there is no more American, like he's not more American than I am just because I criticize this country and its policies. And, you know, I would say that that's patriotic, because when you criticize your government and its policies, and why are you doing that? You're doing that because you want to live in a country that is just. You want to live in a country that is equitable. You want to live in a country that is, you know, going to treat people well and where people's needs are met, right? Like, what is the point of human existence? Like, what are we all existing for? Like, we should all have our needs met. But I would say that Bruce is one of those people who probably believes that, yeah, some people should go without their needs being met in this world. You know, he comes across as that kind of a person to me now. And unfortunately, you know, it's like he waited 3 years before showing this side of himself to me. And I find it really perverse that, you know, as someone with Iranian ancestry, that he was so desperately trying to get me to agree with him that yes, the war on Iran is justified, and trying desperately to show me why I'm wrong and he's right. Like, what is this perversion? Like, why do you fucking care so much what I think, and why are you trying so hard to get me to agree with you? Like, it's really weird. It's very weird. I would say that for like 2.5 years when I would talk about the genocide of Palestine, absolutely nothing, never said a word. But now that I'm speaking out against a war on Iran, all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I gotta get Sarah to agree with me and see why she's wrong. Like, yeah, like no, like why would someone who is Shia Muslim, has Iranian ancestry, like why the fuck would she agree with you that yes, go bomb Iran and kill innocent people? And why the fuck are you trying so hard to get her to agree with you? Like, that's just perverse. It's really fucking messed up. And I don't understand it. I truly do not understand it. So it's like for 3 years, did not see this side of him, did not know that deep down inside he's an Islamophobe, that he thinks his life is in danger by Muslims in this country, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just, yeah. Will I say that the last 3 years were a waste? You know, I wouldn't say that they're a waste because I got to play a lot of great board games. But when you do invest a lot of time getting to know someone and then they turn out to be a huge fucking disappointment, like, yeah, it's, you know, it sucks. It really does suck. Yeah, not gonna lie. And I will miss playing board games with his brother-in-law. I really liked his brother-in-law's company a lot. I really enjoyed talking to his brother-in-law and playing games with him. So yeah, so I'm definitely gonna miss that because obviously them being related, there's going to be that complication where at Friday night game nights, I'm not going to be playing with them now. And the brother-in-law is going to obviously be playing with his brother-in-law. So yeah. And I'm going to be playing with other people now, just like I did this past Friday. So yeah. Yeah. And, you know, this makes me think about something I've said in the past. And I'm still going to say it's true for big conventions. So for big conventions, I still think it's true that if I go and sit down at a table with people, I'm not going to care what their political views are, what they think, who they are as people, because we're just playing one game together. I'm probably never going to see these people again. Like, it doesn't fucking matter to me. I'm not going to sit down and ask them, are you Islamophobic? I need to know before we play this game together. But locally, I seem to have learned my lesson that, yeah, like you can sit down at a table with people, not know who you're playing games with, end up becoming friends with them, and then 3 years later find out that they're Islamophobic. Like, that can happen, and it did happen to me. So yeah, would I have sat down at a table with him 3 years ago had I known that he had these horrible views that just came out recently that I did not know about for the last 3 years? No, probably would not have, because like, why as a Muslim would I want to sit down with someone at a table and play games with someone who supports the killing of my people in Iran, who thinks that all Muslims are out to get him and kill him, thinks that Muslims are, you know, to be feared in this country because there's real repeated violence from Muslims in this country, and all this other bullshit that he's posted. Like, no, I probably wouldn't have sat down at a table with him. I wouldn't have wanted to. I wouldn't have wanted to play games with someone like that and become friends with someone like that. Like, no. Like, why would you want to be friends with someone who hates you or like deep down inside does not value your life as much as he values his own. And one thing I've come to learn about him is that he only values white American lives. Other lives just do not fucking matter to him. People in other countries do not fucking matter to him. He has a son in the Marines, however, who might be getting shipped off to Iran to fight. And then maybe, I don't know, he'll learn his lesson. I don't know. Maybe then he'll see that, yeah, like, you know, this war, not a good idea. Maybe because he really has no fucking idea what Shias are like and what his son will be up against in Iran. And, you know, Bruce repeatedly said to me, you can be friends with someone who doesn't share, who has different political opinions than you, who has different viewpoints than you. You can't be friends with someone who doesn't care if you die or if your relative dies tomorrow or if your friend dies tomorrow. Like, how can I be friends with someone who just is advocating for the killing of people in Iran? How can I be friends with someone like that? How can I be friends with someone who is posting Islamophobic shit, encouraging people to be afraid of Muslims in this country when there is not a reason for people to be afraid of Muslims in this country? Like, Muslims in this country are not trying to get Sharia law passed in the United States, which is something that you'll hear often. Muslims in this country are not trying to get dogs banned. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is something I've seen a lot of recently, like so much so recently that, oh, Muslims in this country are trying to get dogs banned. Like, Muslims are evil, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, what the fuck? How on earth is anyone going to ban dogs anywhere? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is the kind of shit that Bruce would believe in, though. Like, no, this is not what Muslims are trying to do in this country. Who are the Muslims in this country? Look at your doctors. Like, I guarantee you have, you know, at least, you know, if you live in a big city, like, look at all the specialists who are in the hospital. So many Muslims. Like, Muslims are highly educated. You will see so many Muslim doctors. You will see so many Muslim lawyers. You will see so many Muslim engineers. You will see Muslims contributing to this society in ways that non-Muslims even don't. Like, seriously. I'm a Muslim woman. Look at the ways in which I've contributed to this country. I was a legal aid attorney for 7 years, fighting to keep a roof over people's heads. I was fighting to keep people, you know, to keep them from becoming homeless. Like, that's what I did for 7 years. Did I do that only for Muslim people? No, I never even had a single Muslim client. In fact, all of my clients were non-Muslim. They were all white people or black people. I don't even think I had any Asian clients, like Southeast Asian clients. I can't recall ever having a Southeast Asian client, in fact, when I was a legal aid attorney. So they were all either white people or black people from my recollection. So for 7 years, I fought like really hard for these people to keep a roof over their heads. As a Muslim woman, I am taking care of community cats. I spend like $400 of my own money every single month feeding these stray cats. Is that something I have to do? No, that's something I choose to do. Like, Muslims are contributing to society in so many ways, just like many non-Muslims are as well. But all that is to say is that we are not a reason, you know, there's no reason to fear us in this country. We're not trying to pass Sharia law. Like, you can't really differentiate us from other people. If someone is wearing hijab, then sure, you might be able to tell she's Muslim, and that might be one way to differentiate her from other people in this country. Otherwise, all the fucking same. Like, we're not doing anything that should cause people to be afraid of us or make people feel like we're trying to take over and turn, you know, the United States into, you know, like some Muslim country, whatever. I don't know. So yeah. So you know, it's a quote. Who made that one quote? Who said that one statement that you can't be friends with someone who, you know, whose ideologies, whose viewpoints are a threat to your own life. Like, you just can't. Like, this is not just a difference of viewpoint. This is not just a minor political difference. This is someone actively posting shit that can impact your life and cause people to be afraid of you and potentially cause someone to kill you, because that's what Islamophobia does. It causes hate crimes on Muslims. Like, so many Muslims have been killed because of people who are afraid of Muslims. So when he's posting Islamophobic shit on his profile, like, how on earth can I be friends with someone like that? Like, you can't. You just can't. So yeah, so going into local game nights in the future, Now I've been going to a local game night now for 3 years. So, I play with certain people. I feel like at this point, I'm not going to sit down and be like, are you Islamophobic? Are you this? Are you that? To every single person I play with. But of course, if someone reveals themselves to be that way, I, of course, would probably stop playing games with them because I don't want to play games with someone who is encouraging people like me, to be killed or harmed in this country for being Muslim. Like, that's not freedom then, is it? Like, if you claim to be all about freedom, well, then you're, posting shit that goes against that. But 3 years ago, if I could go back in time, would there have been a way for me to know? Like, I guess that's one reason that at board game conventions, you see people with those like ribbons that they attach to their badges to show that, to show what their beliefs are, to show that they're allies of certain people or whatever. But people don't wear things like that to just your average like weekly game night. I'm not saying that they should, but I kind of wish that there was a way now to know who someone is, what their beliefs are, so that you don't, end up sitting and playing games for 3 years with someone who actually would not care if you were killed tomorrow or your family member were killed tomorrow. So yeah, I guess I'm done with my rant. But Islamophobia is real, and all the posts I showed from Bruce, like, you can see posts like that from anyone in this country. Like, these are the kinds of things that people in this country believe who are Islamophobic. These are the kinds of things that they are posting. I see this all the time, all over the internet. I see it on Twitter. I see it on Instagram. I see it everywhere. I see it on TikTok. I see people making videos, all kinds of shit. Like, just recently, I saw some woman ranting about American Doll Company making a doll who was wearing hijab. Like, she made a whole video about how it's so wrong and it's, normalizing Islam in this country. Islam is a religion and people should be free to practice it. What the fuck do you mean normalizing Islam? Like, just words like that are making it seem like that Muslims just should not be allowed in this country. Like, that's what these people believe. Like, they literally believe that Muslims should not be allowed in the United States of America. Like, you want to kick out Muslims from this country, kick out all the Muslims from this country, and then see how your hospitals crumble and everything, and your healthcare, and how it will deteriorate, because there are a shit ton of Muslim doctors in this country, like a shit ton. And my 2 sisters are doctors. So yeah, just go ahead and kick out all the Muslims and then see what happens to your amazing country, America, then. Seriously. But yeah, that is my rant of the week. Islamophobia is just very prevalent right now, and it's fucking exhausting. And it's like, seriously, we have to do this fucking again. It's just never gonna end. It was like really prevalent in the immediate like aftermath of 9/11 and the few years after 9/11, and now it's really prevalent again, and it's just so fucking exhausting. It's just really, really exhausting. But yeah, that is my rant of the week, so let's move on. This week's question of the week is inspired by Faya's Swamp. What other games do you know that take place in a swamp? I'm not sure I know of any other games that take place in a swamp. So I thought I would ask that this week. Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, bye.